What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Pretty interesting news in the world of boxing. If you are a longtime boxing fan or you did your research, you went back and did your homework, you should like this. If not, like if you're born in 1997, you may not, maybe a little bit before your time. But Iron Mike Tyson released an autobiography last Tuesday called Undisputed Truth. As you guys know, he's been opening up. He has his Broadway show, just really opening up on the life of Mike Tyson. As you guys all know, Mike Tyson has had a troubled, very tumultuous career and life from his early days in Brooklyn to bad management and financial loss and just a lot of problems. But in this book, he talks about some pretty shocking and interesting things. He says that he was high during major fights in his career. High and his drug of choice was coke and marijuana. And he says in 2004, when he faced Danny Williams, I was a full blown crackhead. Well, excuse me, he said I was a full blown cokehead. Like that's any better. But that's what he said. So he also says as early as 1989 when he fought Frank Bruno should have beat him. He said he was in bad shape, he was high, and he had just, I guess, just enough to stop him via TKO. But he says Frank Bruno probably should have beat him given his condition and his lack of training and whatnot. And one of the crazier, kooky things about this tell-all, I guess, he was confessing that he was doing blow, he's smoking weed, and a lot of people obviously would question like how he was able to pass drug tests being a professional athlete. So he explains his method of having successful drug tests. He says he had a whizzer, which is basically a fake penis where you put someone else who doesn't do drugs, doesn't smoke, you put their urine in the fake penis contraption, and when you go to do your piss test, it's their clean sample as opposed to your own contaminated urine. So that's what he, I guess, was doing. He fought Andrew Galata and beat him initially, and he failed that drug test with marijuana in his system. So that was later changed to a no contest, and he was fined, I think, like $200,000. I think it was the most a boxer had been fined at the time. Chavez Jr., I think, might have beat that, past that, the fine that he was initially given against Sergio Martinez for testing positive for marijuana last year. But at the time, it was a big deal, and $200,000 was definitely a lot. And the Galata win was later changed to a no contest, like I mentioned. And the reason I guess he didn't pass that one is because a member of his team was supposed to carry this fake dick, this whizzer, around, and they didn't have it, so he just failed the test. um, he also depicts the 2002 fight with Lennox Lewis. They had that press conference. He says he was high on cocaine at that time. And he says, I lost my mind. I looked over at him and I wanted to hit the motherfucker. And if you guys remember, he also bit Lennox Lewis's legs. It was an all-out scuffle. They were on stage. You can go to YouTube. I'm pretty sure you can pull it up and find it. He also says later in his life that he told everyone, he was like late 40s, 47 or whatever. He told everyone that he was clean and rehabbing, but he said he really was using still, and he really wasn't clean when he was telling people he was clean later on in his life. He also had bizarre incidents, as you guys know, the ear biting situation with Evander Holyfield. Just a really rocky career inside and outside of the ring. Some of the craziest interviews I've ever seen. So Tyson, definitely a fighter who was haunted by several demons, troubled inside and outside of the ring. Sometimes he's let his frustrations bleed through in the ring. Definitely outside the ring. Classic interviews, classic meltdowns. There was another interview. I'm trying to think of all the interviews, all the crazy shit that I've seen Mike Tyson do. There's an interview, and he was like, I wish some of you guys had kids so I could smash their head in and stomp on their head and then step on their testicles before you could feel my pain. Because that's the pain I wake up with every day. Like, what the fuck? Like, you want to stomp on their kid's testicle? Like, what the fuck does it what does this have to do with, like, life? What do they do? What do these reporters do? Yeah, I just want to bash their fucking skull in because this is the pain I wake up with. So I want you before you can feel my pain. Like, that's Tyson logic right there. And then there's another interview where Jim Gray's talking to Tyson, and he was like, "Is this your shortest fight ever?" He's like, "I don't know, man. Praise be to my kids. Praise be to my children. I don't know, man. Man, what? Like, what the fuck? I can't. It's hard making out. Like, is he serious right now? Like, just in the middle of an interview, he said, "I don't know, man. What? I don't know. Lennox Lewis, I'm coming for you." And then he just goes on and on to ramble about a lot of stuff. He said, he's like, "I just had to bury my best friend. Assalamu alaikum. Lennox Lewis, he no conqueror. He's not great. I'm the real conqueror. I'm Alexander. I'm Jack Dempsey. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm cut from their cloth. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest ever. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. There's no one like me. There's no one that can stop me. Lennox Lewis, I want to eat his kids for breakfast with a side of hash browns. There's no one on this planet that can stop me. Lennox Lewis, I'm coming for you. I want to eat his heart. Praise be to Allah." And then he just walks away. Like, you have to be pretty fucking loony to ramble off all of that and then just immediately just walk away in the middle of the interview. Like, what the fuck was that? He said, "Assalamu alaikum. Praise be to my kids and my family." I don't know, man. What? I'm the conqueror. Sonny Liston, Jack Dempsey, I'm all of them. Eat his heart for breakfast for kids. All of his dinner. I'm going to eat his heart. I don't care. Praise be to Allah. And then just drops the mic and walks away. Like, that's some fucking crazy shit. If you guys get a chance, go on YouTube, watch that shit. It is hilarious. Mike Tyson really went off on Jim Gray, and Jim Gray was just, he looked kind of timid, like, I don't want to even interview this dude. Hilarious stuff. Trust me, Tyson is nonstop entertainment. It's kind of it's like a circus act. It's kind of sad if you really think about it. It is funny, but it's kind of sad that this is a real person, and obviously he's dealing with a lot of pain based on where he came up. He also says growing up that he tried cocaine for the first time at age 11, and as a baby he was given alcohol. So these are the type of situations, real life situations, that some people, and boxers particularly, just growing up poor and poverty, deal with. And when it comes to gaining success, some people don't know how to take it. They don't know how to leave the street shit alone. And just professional athletes, a lot of athletes come from rural, crazy ghettos, and just crazy environments and stuff like that. So Tyson is probably one of the pinnacle of athletes who necessarily wasn't built for superstardom. He wasn't built for people in his face and the media and the Robin Givens of the world and bad promoters, the Don Kings taking advantage of him. He wasn't a businessman. You got people like Jay-Z, or you got people like Jay-Z. That's the only person I can think of off the top of my head. I don't know why. But they're able to build these empires based on coming from the streets. 50 Cent's another person. Coming from the streets and making smart business decisions, securing their money, investing their money in the right businesses, and not letting people take advantage, kind of calling their own shots. And again, just dealing with the paparazzi and the media, they do well. They know how to speak in front of people. They know how to turn that switch off and on versus a Mike Tyson. Or you could look at an Andre Ward. Andre Ward's from Oakland. Trust me, Oakland is hood. I live 35 minutes away from Oakland. If you don't believe me, come to seminary. You'll see what the fuck I'm talking about. But Oakland, it's a nice city, but there's definitely areas that you probably wouldn't want to go through if you never been, you don't know your way around, that kind of thing. You don't know nobody that lives out there. There's areas like that, just like I'm sure all big cities and regions or whatnot. But Andre Ward can come from the hard streets of Oakland and get a job as a commentator on HBO, and he does well. He knows how to speak. He has a proper etiquette. He can translate that. Same thing with Paulie Malignaggi, another fighter from Brooklyn. Paulie, when he's around his boys, he probably says the N-word, talks slang, cusses. I've seen him in interviews. But when he's on Showtime, he knows how to command the audience. He knows how to speak in a universal way where people from all backgrounds, creeds, races, ages, they can understand what he's talking about. Versus a Mike Tyson comes from that same environment, tough street, Brooklyn, and he doesn't really know how to turn it off. He doesn't know how to translate. So when you hear a Tyson interview, it's the same. He talks like he's still in the streets. He's still going to give you the raw, uncut, unadulterated, hot-tempered, hot-headed sometimes ignorant Tyson. That's what you're going to get. So some people, they're just not built for the bright lights and the cameras and people in front of their face, people on their business, constant attention, and that kind of stuff. So Mike Tyson, hell of a fighter. He's put on some tremendous performances, high or sober, whatever the fuck he was. And he obviously has crazy power. And that was one of the things that he was most notable for. Another thing with Mike Tyson that I liked is watching other dudes. He's a heavyweight. There's a lot of dudes that he fought that were bigger than him. And I know they heard the rumors. They probably seen past tapes of Tyson. And it's different when you get in the ring with somebody. Like Mike Tyson always used to say, he says everyone has a game plan until they get punched in the face. So it's funny to see those bigger dudes. And they heard the war stories. They've seen the footage about people who couldn't take Tyson's power. So they think they're going to go in there and bulldog and like fight toe to toe and stand up to him like, oh, I fought other people and I have power myself. And then when they get touched with that power, it's something different. A lot of dudes retreat and go into survival mode, and they're not really anticipating how much power he actually brought, especially in his prime. So Mike Tyson, hell of a puncher, hell of a fighter. He used great speed, something that the heavyweight division definitely lacks nowadays. You don't see the fighters that are so agile, defense minded, good footwork, good head movement, just crazy, compact, fast, short punches that will knock you into another dimension. So, I wish the heavyweight division was a little bit more stacked like it was back in the day in the late 80s, the 90s when Muhammad Ali fought. But that's that. Anyway, Mike Tyson, hell of a fighter. Definitely one of my favorites despite his troubled past. Let me know what you guys think. If you got his book, you started reading it or you finished reading it, you're a speed reader, let me know how it is, if I should get it. Let me know what you guys think of Mike Tyson other than that. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.